You have a trust problem. You don't trust yourself to do what you said you were going to do. And whether you've admitted that to yourself or not, you already feel it, because this isn't new. This isn't some sudden realization. This is something that's been building quietly over time. 6 a.m., alarm goes off, and there's a moment, a very small moment, where you remember exactly what you said you were going to do. I'm getting up. I'm working out. I'm starting. You remember it clearly, you feel it for a split second, and then immediately, your brain steps in. I'm too tired for this. Just a few more minutes. You didn't sleep that well. You can go after work. And here's the part you don't want to admit. You know that's not true. You know exactly what you're doing. You're not confused. You're not unsure. You're not lacking information. You're choosing. And the worst part, you're aware of it. You're laying there, eyes open, having the conversation with yourself. One side of you saying, "Get up, you said you would." The other side saying, "Just 5 more minutes, it's not that serious." And you know which one you're going to listen to. You already know, before you even move. So you hit snooze once, twice, 3 times, until eventually, there's no time left. Now it's not even a decision anymore. Now it's, I can't. Even though the truth is, you chose not to. So you adjust. I'll go after work. And that thought is just convincing enough to let you move on. Just convincing enough to not feel like you completely failed. But deep down, you already know. You've done this too many times. You know exactly how this ends. Now you're in the car, driving home. And it comes back up. I should go. I said I was going to go. And for a second, you consider it. You actually think about doing it. But then, the next layer of the conversation starts. I'm drained. I don't have anything left. It's been a long day. And again, it sounds logical. It sounds reasonable. It sounds justified. But it's the same thing. Different wording. Same pattern. Because earlier, it was, I'm too tired. Now it's, I'm too drained. Earlier it was, I'll go after work. Now it's, I'll just go tomorrow. And you know it. You know exactly what you're doing. You're not tricking yourself. You're not unaware. You're choosing comfort. And once again, you don't go. And in that moment, nothing. No big emotional reaction. No immediate consequence. No punishment. Just, you didn't do it. Again. But later, that's when it hits. Not all at once. Not aggressively. Quiet. Subtle. But there. I said I was going to do that. And I didn't. And it's not even intense anymore. That's the problem. It used to bother you more. It used to feel heavier. Now it just feels normal. And that's when it becomes dangerous. When breaking your word to yourself stops feeling like a big deal. Because now it's not occasional. It's not situational. It's a pattern. And patterns don't just affect behavior. They build identity. You start to see yourself a certain way. Not because you decided to. Because you proved it. And here's what makes this worse. You don't do this with other people. If you tell someone you'll be there, you're there. If you commit to something, you follow through. No hesitation, no negotiation, no internal debate. Because there's accountability. Because there's expectation. Because there's consequence. But when it comes to yourself, different standard. You negotiate, you delay, you adjust, you push it off. And every time you do that, you reinforce something. My word doesn't actually matter. And after enough repetitions, that becomes your baseline. You say something, and there's a part of you that immediately doesn't believe you. Not loud, not obvious, just there. We'll see. You've said this before. You probably won't do it. And that voice, that's not insecurity. That's evidence. That's your brain looking at your history and making a decision. And now everything gets harder. Because now you're not just trying to take action. You're trying to override your own track record. So you look for answers, you look for motivation, you look for discipline, you look for systems, plans, routines, something new, something different, something that will finally fix it. But none of that addresses the real issue, because the issue isn't what you're doing, it's what you've been allowing. You say something, you don't do it, you repeat, and every time you repeat it, you lower the standard, just a little, until eventually, that's just who you are. So let's be honest. This isn't about discipline, this is about standards, because you don't rise to your potential. You fall to what you tolerate from yourself, and right now, if you're being honest, you've been tolerating broken promises, repeatedly. Now here's where it gets deeper, because if it was just about knowing what to do, you would have fixed it already. You know what's on the other side. You know that if you worked out consistently, you'd feel better, more energy, more confidence, better mentally. You know that. So if it's not knowledge, what is it? If you strip everything away, if you cut through every excuse, There's something underneath it, something most people won't say out loud. What if you're avoiding the work because you're not sure what happens if it actually works? What if part of you is thinking, if I actually do this, if I become consistent, if I build discipline, what if I'm still not happy? Because right now, you have an out. You have a built-in excuse. I'm not where I want to be because I haven't fully committed. I haven't really gone all in yet. I could if I wanted to. That protects you, because as long as you're not fully showing up, you don't have to face the result. But the moment you do, the moment you actually follow through, now it's real. Now there's no excuse left. Now you have to face whatever comes next, and that's uncomfortable. So instead, you stay in the middle. You do just enough to feel like you're trying, but not enough to actually change. And that's where the real problem is, because now it's not just behavior, it's identity. You've trained yourself not to believe your own word. So how do you fix it? Not with motivation, not with some perfect system, not with another plan. You fix it the same way it broke, through proof. But not big proof, small proof, repeated. You stop making big promises, and you start keeping small ones. If you've been skipping the gym, don't commit to an hour. Don't commit to perfection. Commit to showing up. 10 minutes, one set. That's it. Because the goal isn't the workout. The goal is, I said I would do this, and I did it. That's how trust is built. Same thing with everything else. Stop saying, I'll do it tomorrow. Say, I'll do 5 minutes right now. And then do it, immediately. No negotiation, no delay, no conversation. Because the longer you think, the easier it is to escape. And every time you follow through, you change something. You change your evidence. You change your pattern. You change your identity. You go from, I don't follow through, to, I do what I say I'm going to do. And that shift, that's everything, because now you're not forcing discipline, you're operating from standards. And the version of you described, the one who gets up early, handles business, works out, takes care of family, protects their peace, that person isn't built from motivation. They're built from proof. Daily proof, small proof, consistent proof. So here's the reality. You don't need more information. You don't need more motivation. You don't need a better plan. You need to stop negotiating with yourself and start keeping your word. Even in small ways, especially in small ways. Because confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from proof, from showing yourself over and over again that your word actually means something. So start today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Pick one thing, one small commitment, and follow through on it, no matter what. Because every time you do that, you're rebuilding something, trust. And once that's built, everything else starts to follow. So the next time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, pause. Because tomorrow isn't the problem. Your word is. So here's what I want you to do next. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Pick one thing you've been putting off, not 5 things, not a full reset. 1. Something small enough that you can't justify avoiding it, but meaningful enough that you know you should be doing it. Maybe it's 10 minutes in the gym. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's starting something you've been delaying. I don't care what it is. I care that you follow through. Because this isn't about productivity. This isn't about optimizing your life. This is about rebuilding trust with yourself. And that doesn't happen with big promises. It happens with kept ones. So whatever you pick, do it immediately after this. No thinking, no negotiating, no, I'll do it later. Later is where everything dies. Right now is where everything changes. And when you're done, I want you to recognize it, not celebrate it like it's some huge achievement. Just acknowledge it. I said I would do this, and I did it. That's it. That's how this starts. Then you do it again tomorrow, and again the next day, and again when you don't feel like it. Because that's when it actually matters. That's how you rebuild something most people never even realize they've lost. Trust. So start now, and prove to yourself, just once today, that your word actually means something. If this hit you, don't just watch it and move on. Hit like, so this gets in front of more people who need to hear it. Subscribe if you're serious about fixing this. Because this channel isn't about motivation, it's about actually changing how you operate. And if you made it this far, drop a comment and tell me the one thing you're going to follow through on today. Keep it simple. Hold yourself to it. I'll see you in the next one.